The Bronco, as modeled on DCS, can employ the AI M09P Sidewinder air-to-air missile. It is an export version of the well-known Sidewinder. It delivers performance akin to that of the AI M9J, which allows it to be used as a dogfighting missile against low-maneuvering aircraft. For this training mission, we will practice with 2 of these missiles, 1 on each wing station. Your goal is to intercept and destroy 3 drone aircrafts that are flying singly near Anapa. See if you can destroy 2 with infrared missiles, and the remaining 1 with your machine guns. Each destroyed drone will award you 30 results points. If you run out of missiles and ammo, there is an F10 option on the communications menu to ask for the mission to end, or you can simply fly towards Anapa and, once you are close, the mission will offer you to end. Unfortunately, the Bronco can't yet communicate with AWACS and our aircraft is not equipped with radar. So, to make up for this, we have allowed the F10 map to show the target drones, so you can use it to get near them. We will now taxi to the runway. Unfortunately, the radio is not simulated yet, so we can't ask air traffic control for clearance. Use the F10 view to check if there is other taxi traffic nearby. Increase throttle and release brakes. Taxi straight and upon reaching the taxiway, turn to the right, towards runway 22. You are now on the taxiway and on proper heading. Proceed ahead towards the runway, strive to keep the aircraft centered over the yellow taxi line. Stop the aircraft just short of runway 22. Good. On this position we would normally call up air traffic control, but as we currently don't have a working radio, we can use F10 to check on nearby air traffic. If no other aircrafts are near, enter the runway, align with its centerline and stop there. Before takeoff. Flaps, as desired. For this mission, use half flaps. Condition levers. Advance to its maximum position, takeoff, land. This action currently has no simulated effect on DCS. Takeoff. Hold wheel brakes. Advance throttle to maximum, check engine instruments and then release brakes. Maintain the aircraft on the center line, using rudder. At 100 knots, pull back on the flight stick to rotate attitude. Lift off. Adjust pitch trim to 10 degrees nose up. Once airborne, retract landing gear. Above 110 knots, retract flaps. Ensure both are fully retracted before exceeding 160 knots. Maintain the runway heading and climb to 3,000 feet. Condition levers. Move back into normal flight, once above 1,000 feet AGL. Maintain a heading of 220 degrees to reach our first waypoint, just over the coastline at the town of Anapa, ahead of us. You are over waypoint 1. Use the F10 map to get the current target's positions and turn towards the nearest. The arming procedure for the Sidewinder missiles is as follows. 1. Sight reticle brightness knob, turn clockwise as required. The sight reticle brightness knob enables both the sight reticle illumination and its brightness adjustment. 2. Filament select switch, check that it's set to number 1, down. 3. Sight depression, as required. For air-to-air use, leave it on its default depression, 170 milliradians. 4. Master arm switch, on. All armament is controlled by the master arm switch. The armament circuits can be energized only when this switch is on. 5. Left or right wing switches, set to fire. Use these switches to select which missile will be fired, and you press the weapon release button on the flight stick. When you select one of them, by switching it to its fire position, you will hear a growling sound. This is the missile seeker cue. It will change to a high-pitched sound when the seeker has detected a heat source. Since the sound is kind of annoying, keep both switches on their safe position, until you have actually detected a target and are near it. A target is near, enable either one of the missile stations. The seeker sound level can be adjusted on Options, Audio, Helmet Slider. The Sidewinder is best used when launched from behind the target. Do not launch if the sun is in front, as the missile may seek it instead of the target. Remember that the missiles are launched by pressing the weapon release button of the flight stick. Wait until the seeker sound turns to high pitch, before launching it. Do not launch missiles at too close range. Within 1 nautical mile it's best to use the machine guns, which are fired by pressing the gun trigger on the flight stick. You are out of missiles. You will have to use your machine guns to destroy any surviving drone. You have completed the main subject of this training mission. Select. Press backspace if you want to fly back and land at Anapa, or press spacebar to end the training now. Okay, you have chosen to proceed and practice a landing at Anapa Air Base. Unfortunately, the Bronco in DCS can't communicate with air traffic control, so you must use the F10 map to be aware of other air traffic that may be flying near our destination airbase. Press spacebar once you have checked the F10 map. Good, proceed towards Anapa's landing approach point. Runway 22 is active. Do not use runway 04. Deactivate the armament with this procedure. 1. Left and right wing switches, set both to safe. 2. Master arm switch, set to off. 3. Gun sight, set to off, by setting its brightness to minimum. You are now near Anapa. Reduce speed and altitude. Turn towards Anapa. The runway heading is 215 degrees. Since you can't contact ATC to request landing, check the F10 map to confirm there is no other air traffic near the runway. Perform a visual landing. Complete the landing checklist. Condition levers should be at takeoff, landing, full forward. Landing gear should be down. Flaps, they should be fully extended. Landing light set to on. Align with the runway and perform a descending approach, with a speed of 110 knots. Near the runway threshold, reduce power and speed, flare just before touchdown. Touchdown. Press and hold the propeller reverse key, while at the same time push throttle to max. Apply wheel brakes while keeping the aircraft aligned on the runway. Stop the aircraft completely, to be able to record how long your landing run was. Proceed forward and take the first runway exit to the right. Well done, you may now select. Press backspace to practice the taxi to ramp and the aircraft shutdown. Press spacebar if you want to end the training now. Taxi forward and then turn right onto Taxi Street M. Park your aircraft on the same spot where you started on the cold start training mission. Your ground crew is waiting there. Once clear of the runway, flap handle up to retract the flaps. Condition levers set to normal flight, a bit back from their maximum position. Landing light, as required for this mission, turn it off. Good, you are now on apron 2. Taxi to your spot and park your aircraft facing the runway, as shown on the diagram. Well done, you are now at your proper parking spot and facing the runway. Select. Press backspace to learn the shutdown procedure for the Bronco. Or, press spacebar if you prefer to end the training at this point. You have landed safely at Anapa, and taxied back to the ramp, after performing air-air attacks using both infrared missiles and machine guns. Congratulations, you have successfully completed this training mission. Press spacebar to exit the training.